Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Wailed On. I am your host, the Techy Fiend. Today's guest is the Techy Fiend. You may recognise him from playing with Team White, Belfast Storm Gaming, Geekcase Esports, Resolve Academy, Demise, and most recently Saltire. Today we're going to talk about his time playing in various competitive leagues from NSC, Nuel, UKL, LPlol, Iberian Cup, NLC, and lastly SEL. Okay, what's your full name, your online handle, your age, and where did you grow up?
I'm Thomas Aitken, Techy Fiend. I'm 24 and I grew up in north of Scotland in Murray.
Okay, right. And how did you find out about League of Legends?
It came up on my YouTube once. There was a pro match. I think the title is Best LoL Match Ever Played, and I watched
Okay.
that, and it was pretty sick. So then I started researching more. I watched a lot of Fnatic, and
Okay.
then I thought I'd try it. And my first game was on a trackpad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh
pretty
my
dire.
God. So was this the best LoL game ever played? Was this LEC or like who was playing in that
It
game? Do you
was
remember?
Fnatic versus OMG, I think.
All right. Okay. Oh,
It
all
was
right.
it was like a 1 minute 20 1 hour 20 minute banger or something.
Right. Right.
It was
Is
just sick as.
this like season three or something like that?
I
Is
want to say season 2 or 3. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Because
it was a
OMG was
while
that
back.
like what was that guy's name? Was it Cool or something like that? Did they
Yeah, I
play
think so.
against Faker? It's SKT or something in the finals, maybe?
Yeah, that was Katie Rolster.
Oh, was it
I'm
right?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, right. So, what was your first experience like then when you were playing? You said about being on a trackpad, like,
Yeah. Trackpad against bots, getting dumpstered. That
did,
was my first experience, and
l-
then I guess I just found it.
like I remember, like I don't know if a lot of people were like this at the time, but I think League when you install it, it first comes with your abilities where you have to like either press the button and then click and stuff like that and get all your settings dialed in. Did you have all that dialed in where it was like press and release or
Uh
whatever?
yeah, I think I can't remember exactly. It was a bit back.
No. Okay. Okay, so you play support. What made you decide to pick up that role?
So I was originally a mid laner,
Oh, okay.
but this was before we had role selection, so you had to spam ping your role,
Hmm.
and my internet wasn't the fastest,
Right.
so the role that was always left was support.
Ah, okay.
So I would just play support whenever I can press mid quick
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah, because I remember used to you used to jump into games and it would just be like mid,
Yeah,
me
yeah,
top.
mid duo bot.
Yeah, the game's came on
Classic.
a lot since then. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
What made you decide to pick up WoW competitively?
So I came to uni and I was playing basketball, and one of the guys on the team was mentioning that he played in the uni team. I didn't know there was one at the time,
All right,
so
okay.
I asked him what roles were free, and apparently jungle was free. So I jungled for the uni team for a year,
All right, okay.
and really enjoyed the experience. Decided the bot lane was crap, so I took over being a bot laner.
All right, okay. And like you'd been playing for a few years at this point or something like that.
Yeah, I was around gold at this time. It
Right,
would have
okay.
been 4 or 5 years ago, something
Right,
like
right, right. And what was the team like that you were playing on? Like, what university was this you were at?
that. It was Abertay University. The
Amateur.
team was at the time gold silver,
Right.
so it was myself, Donut, GG, and then two other guys. One called Junkers and one called Novter.
All right.
So, and we also had a coach who was also grassroots.
Right.
I can't remember what her handle is now, but she was Miana.
Right. Okay.
And basically, she coached us into being a diamond team, which was kind of nuts at the time.
Hmm.
So then from that, one season I decided to look if I could actually get into a league that wasn't uni, and luckily a team was desperate for support. I was D4 peak, and I got picked up, and I guess that's how my competitive journey started.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And you mentioned there that you played basketball a bit. Were you competitive in any other games or sports before then? Like.
Uh, Throughout my life, I've done a lot of competitive sports, basketball being my main one.
Mhm.
So I was, I think we were Bucks Div 1.
Right.
So that was pretty high level for university.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about what different tournaments and leagues that you've played in then. So you mentioned a few at the start, but there's the resume is quite deep, right? So
Yeah, it's extensive.
okay, where would you like to start then? What, is it
I
NSE
guess
and Nuel?
the first team would be Team White. As I mentioned, I had Donut mid lane, GG bot lane, Novter jungle, and Junkers top.
Hmm.
At the time, we were a gold team, but we played together for like 2 years. Became pretty much all of us
Hmm.
diamond plat area, and we actually placed pretty highly in those tournaments, considering the competition nowadays. So I think we came 16th to 18th or something in Nuel,
Okay, well, nice.
and then NSE. I can't remember where we placed at all. I think
Hmm.
we were one below the highest bracket.
Hmm.
But for a uni team, that was basically unheard of. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. And do you remember, like, is the Nuel? There's a lot of people who have like they play in the new and then they play in maybe like another one like UKEL or UKLC or NLC. Was there any names that you remember from that time that were like UK players or?
At the time, I didn't recognize any of them,
Hmm.
but apparently I played against some of them before. I couldn't tell you exact
All right, okay, right,
names.
that's okay. So what happens after like NSC and Null then? What's the next one?
So I got picked up by Nuclear Storm Gaming, who are now Belfast Gaming.
Hmm.
I played in the 2019 UKL.
Hmm.
So that was with a load of different people. We had a lot of roster changes in that season.
Right,
But
okay.
the coach was Rai, who is now CEO Resolve.
Hmm.
And then a load of other names that maybe people know or not, but like Kaz and Casper as ADs.
Right.
Trucker in the jungle, an absolute psychopath. So then we placed fourth, I think, in regular season, and then third in playoffs in that season.
Right, good. Yeah, yeah.
So that was my first. The jump from university to competitive leagues was crazy. It was very
Hmm.
humbling.
Hmm. And like
uh,
during that time, did you like what were the other players like? Were these experienced guys, or were they kind of in the same boat
yeah,
as you?
so we had quite a lot of experience already in the team.
Okay,
So
right.
me coming in, never being a thing, I got flamed a lot, but it was pretty constructive. I learned a lot.
Constructive flame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that I still think about when I
yeah.
play to this. From that, so
No, that's cool. Yeah. So you learned a lot. And how long were you playing there? Like, was this
I played there for one split, so just
okay?
for summer.
So that's like what 4 months or something, or was it
Yeah,
shorter?
about 4 months.
4 months, right? Okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like your first experience. Like, I mean, the new is competitive, right? There's a lot of talent there, and like I said, a lot of people go like they have that as one thing, and then they maybe play in another tournament or two.
Yeah,
But like it's interesting, like how much you know, like how crushing it can be jumping into some of these things, but you learn fast, right? You see a
yeah.
lot of mistakes coming up like that.
A lot
But
of things that happen in the Nuel are you get single players that are very good on teams or a duo.
hmm.
While jumping into competitive leagues, obviously every player is there for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's not often that many weak players
Okay.
to like abuse or something.
Yeah, so it's a lot more focused. People are like, I've gone out my way to do this, so I'm going to
Yeah.
focus my time on it. Yeah, yeah, no, cool. Okay, so after Belfast Storm, was it you said?
Yeah, I got asked to coach in Portugal in the
Hmm.
LPlol for Geekcase.
Hmm.
So I was the head coach there for a single season, or no, yeah, 2 seasons there. So I sat out spring, and this was the 2020 summer, and then 2021 spring.
Yeah.
And this was rough.
Right.
Coaching is stressful, not that rewarding, I must say.
Right. Okay.
If your team's losing, you take a lot of the blame, and you have to deal with a lot of interpersonal conflict.
Right.
And if you're winning, they don't really want to listen to you often, and they just want to keep doing what they're doing.
Okay.
So
Right.
that was I would say good for me, but not something I'm desperate to do anytime soon.
Okay. Okay. And like, did you learn a lot from that time? Like, even for like stuff that you maybe keep up your
I
sleeve for
learned
your own
that
game?
I was better than a lot of supports,
Right. Okay.
and that I wasn't ready to to sit on the side and let someone else do what I would consider a worse job.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Right,
which I mean, you could say is egotistical, but it was rough seeing.
No, I mean it's yeah. You don't, and the thing is, like, you're the coach, and you like. I mean, the job of the coach is to kind of backseat game them a bit, and it's like you're not there to just like pick apart their game for your own fun. It's meant to be constructive, but if people aren't willing to listen or even consider it,
Yeah,
then what are you there for,
yeah,
sort of thing
exactly.
as well. So yeah, okay. That no, that's interesting. I never realised that you done coaching as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a while ago.
yeah. Okay. What's next after that then? And sorry,
Then there
actually,
was
can I clarify? Like, what is LPlol? Where league is that? Where is
LPL is
that?
the Portuguese Division 1.
Right. Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Like Liga Portugal law or something like
yeah,
that. Something.
something
Right. Okay.
like that.
Right. Right. Ah, okay. Cool. Sorry, I cut you off there, man. What's next there?
Then there would be Resolve Academy
Hmm.
playing in SQ1 before it got taken apart. So this was with uh who was the roster? Jojo top lane, Rosara jungle, Jackal mid, and Cultist or Cultist bot. So it was a pretty stacked roster. It's probably one of the highest rosters I've been part of, and it was pretty intense, but we were very good.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So no, go on.
I recognize Jojo. Was he in Demise or something?
He was in another UK team. I
All
can't
right.
remember.
Okay.
It wasn't Demise though.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact team.
Okay.
But yeah, this roster, I've probably got pushed the hardest I was because the players were so good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them still play in like Div 1, Div 2 today.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
But before we could get a placement in that league, it got taken down by Riot because they wanted to put everything into NLC.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then
Mhm.
I moved on to UKL with Demise, I think,
Mhm.
in 2021 summer. This was with Terabit bot, Vossen mid, Crisis jungle, and Endorser top.
Mhm.
This is probably the roster I'm known for the most because the UKL was probably at its biggest point, and it was a very competitive season.
Mhm.
So Crisis and Vossen I got on with very well. Obviously, they came onto my Saltire team later,
Mhm.
and Terabit, sadly, we had to have 3 Scottish players, and I'm the only Scottish player in that roster. So
Right. Okay. At that time, like you said, this was a very competitive league. Like, what other players were playing in the league that people might know? Like, who were some of the big hitters in that?
Anonymous. He was one of the first players to hit Challenger this season.
Oh, okay.
Um, who else? Raider was another Challenger top laner. Obviously, I think Vossen and Crisis should be on that list. They're pretty well known. They're
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Um, there were a lot of big names at the time, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Icy Gale.
Icy Gale.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know? I wish he would get involved in SEL, but I've tried to contact him, but
No, it's not in it.
he's a busy man. I think he plays with X7 or something like that
Yeah.
right now. So yeah.
So
So
a lot of the players went on, and it was probably a master to Challenger was probably the average ranks in the league, so pretty competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
We placed pretty poorly because we kind of imploded at the end. So we didn't really get anywhere in playoffs, but we probably should have been third to first.
Okay.
Yeah, some things went differently.
Right. Okay.
Then I came onto some pretty rubbish teams. Probably won't mention them. But the next one would probably be Saltire Blue, I think they're calling it. It was just Saltire when I joined. So it had Ewan top lane, Leon jungle, Craney, and Lewis. I think is a very strong roster. We did pretty poorly in qualifiers for NLC, so we got put Div 5. So then this winter, we didn't lose a game in Div 5, so we should be Div 4, provided everything in NLC goes properly. And then Saltire White, which would be the team I made, kind of. So it was always going to have Donut and GG in it. Originally, Donut was going to be mid because he was a mid laner. But we played battlegrounds before this with Junkers top lane and base slot jungle. So Junkers being plat at the time, base slot being silver. It was harder than it should have been in the tournament. So battlegrounds had a lot of the similar rosters to SEL. And the games were hard, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
the core roster, yeah, after you.
I remember the battlegrounds games, and it did seem like on paper the team that you had wasn't maybe up to the standard. Like you did have a few good pieces, right? But there was, like you said, a platinum player and then a silver player, and
Yeah.
but you just had the right decisions and you drafted well to play like to the strengths or whatever and make it work sort of thing. So it was really cool to see actually. I remember.
Yeah, so 4 of our players were playing on the uni team, so we had like 2 years experience together. And then the silver player wasn't a Mumu god, so and nobody banned it, so we managed to get away with a Mumu MF most games and just tried to wombo people, and it worked enough for that tournament. But I did feel that coming into SEL, it would probably be harder.
Yeah.
I think Reclusive were starting to try and get vocal. So hearing that they were a Masters team, I hadn't seen the play, but I assumed they'd be good. So we tried to bring in a better roster. Originally, I was going to ask the Saltire team we were on, but they were wanting to play as Dead again,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
I turned into Scalp, I think.
Yeah. Scalp wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. So we made the roster that was just going to be Team White with myself, GG, Voss in mid, Crisis jungle, and Donut switching to top. But then contact with Saltire and made it Saltire White for SEL5.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because yeah, like I never realized that Saltire Blue is that the NLC
I don't.
mode.
I think they're just Saltire, but some people
Saltire.
call it Saltire Blue. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's just call them Saltire Blue for talking
Yeah,
sake
sure.
to separate it. Right. Um. Yeah, I didn't realise that that team had formed ahead of SEL 5. I wasn't sure of the timeline of that, but that's interesting. That so there you had formed before that,
Yeah, we had.
but obviously Dead Again or Skip Whalers, they've been an established team for a while now, and they done well at SEL 4. They know each other well. They're familiar, so it makes perfect sense for them to
Yeah.
go and play as their 5-man stack, and you form a new team. So yeah, and like on the run up to SL5, did you manage to get a lot of practice in with that team? I mean, it seems like you know each other well already, but like, was there?
I think we got one scrim in
Okay,
before,
right,
and it went badly, if I remember.
okay,
But seeing our group, we were relatively confident.
okay.
Obviously, myself, Donut, and GG had played together for ages. Then played with Crisis and Vossen, but I assured them that they would probably be fine. Me, Vossen, and Crisis were very vocal from the Demise days, so shot calling was easy, and they pretty much just had to follow what we told them.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. So, are you the primary shot caller in that team, or is it between
Yeah,
you and Crisis?
yeah,
Or
I'm pretty vocal in the game.
okay.
Although I get told to shut up a lot because I'm probably too vocal.
So, but you're all good friends that way that you can talk you're comfortable with each other and
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit harder for Donut and Gigi because they hadn't
Mhm.
met them before, but
Mhm.
there's no problems really.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about the game, everything. If you play the game,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
is pretty easy.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's talk about SEL5 a bit more then. When you seen the groups and stuff like that, what was your thoughts on that?
So we were pretty confident that we'd at least make it out of the group.
Mhm.
Um, so Group A had Reclusive, which we weren't sure about. On paper, they sounded good.
Mhm.
Glasgow Grizzlies
Yeah. Yeah.
had a couple players I'd heard about, but they were fine. And then who were the other teams in that group? There was one pretty bad team, and then one that had Pro Luma. I can't remember what the
Let
actual team was
me.
called.
So there was the Baby Bell. Was it the Baby Bells? No, no, no. Is that the
Yeah,
other group
that
or
was the one with Luma.
Luma?
I know
Right.
him from the university days.
All right. Okay. Okay. Let me have a look. I actually have this stuff here. So,
Oh,
Group
do you have?
One, the Glasgow Grizzlies, Reclusive, Par for the Rift,
Yeah,
and Coin. I call them the Coin Flip Coalition because I think it's a better name. But Baby Bells
yeah.
Playgroup, and then there was the
Our
the
group had
the
a
second
bronze
leg.
team,
Yeah.
Scalp, and not reclusive.
Bomb Planters, Scout
Non planners. That's
Whalers,
it. Yeah,
Steam Frogs, and then
yeah, them.
Saltire White.
Then
Yeah,
ourselves. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So
yeah,
just before we get into it, the groups were a little bit weird,
yeah.
considering we had three strong teams and they arguably had two.
Hmm.
I think you should probably have switched Scalp with Baby Bills,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But it is what it is. We
Hmm.
were pretty happy either way. We came into the tournament pretty confident.
Hmm.
So then we watched Group A. Reclusive didn't look very strong.
Hmm.
They weren't playing to the ranks that they were showing, so we were fine with them. And then Glasgow Grizzlies looked terrible.
Hmm.
So when Baby Bills came through, it was surprising. It was cool to watch, but
Yeah, a bit of an upset. Do you not think?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
crazy upset.
I yeah, because the Glasgow Grizzlies, I don't know if the tilt just got to them or something like that, man.
Yeah,
But
they look okay on paper.
yeah, they look good on paper for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the groups play out, and what were you thinking about the games that you played? So it was who did you play
We
against
had
first?
the
Sorry.
bronze team first, so
Yeah.
that was whatever.
Hmm.
Then we had, I think it was Scalp
Skill.
first.
Yeah.
They were missing Craney, which I
Yeah.
think hurt them pretty heavily. He was pretty good.
Hmm.
So when we played them, what happened? I feel like all the games were pretty easy for us. Vossen, I think, gapped Pizza Bowl pretty hard.
Hmm.
Obviously, being a very high tier mid laner against someone being filled
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
always going to happen.
Yeah.
So that game became mostly just mid get diff. I'll just keep ganking mid. We'll leave
Hmm.
GG 1v2. So then we played Bomb Planters,
Hmm.
who obviously had just beaten Scalp. Then they beat the bronze team.
Hmm.
The Scalp game went on for an hour or something
Yeah. Yeah. It was
ridiculous,
nuts.
which I'm sure would have been fun to watch, but us just waiting to play games is not the
You're
nicest
just like,
experience after we'd won
yeah,
in like 15.
yeah.
So we were there having to try and not use up too much energy or anything. So obviously, what's the challenger guy's name? The Disconnect, yeah.
The disconnect. Yeah.
He was clearly their strong point. Their bot lane, in my opinion, were pretty weak.
Hmm.
The jungler Flashy, he's not probably going to be on Crisis level.
Hmm.
He probably hasn't played against many challenger junglers, so we were pretty confident about that. And then Dono, he's a very underrated player.
Hmm.
So he was probably going to get Chris G most times, especially if he got his Aatrox, which I believe he did.
Yeah.
So then the game, we go like 1-7. We're just inting everywhere. But then I think I flash played on Roy, and then we just got killed. So that made the game a little bit more awkward. But it was one of the games where you never feel like it's losable.
Right.
So that was our group experience. It was pretty easy, if I'm going to be honest. We expected to get out, and we were happy that we did.
Like with just talking about the games against. So I guess the bottom team in Group A, the one that you felt was like you just kind of run over. Like let's skip that game. So, but coming into playing Scalp or Dead again, like the roster is a bit weaker, not having Craney. But did you have any like ideas about draft or focus, or was it just like what's your thoughts coming into that game?
Drafts were always try and get counter pick or third pick from mid or top.
Okay.
So I think we were red most games.
Right.
So we had jungle AD 1-2. Pick a mid or top that can get a decent matchup. Either pick Aatrox if it's open on 3 or Fiora or Jax. Then pick support on 4 because I don't mind countering and I have champions I can play, and then give either mid or top, depending who's still open, counter. In terms of banning other teams, Scalp were a little bit harder to ban because there wasn't a particular player we wanted to target. I can't remember what the bans were, but then Bomb Planters, we had the same bans in groups as we did in finals.
Right, okay.
Just Akali, Zillion, and Soraka, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was 2 of the Disconnects champions and then Akali for Chris.
Yeah.
And they just seemed kind of lost without those power picks. I think he played Lux in groups.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready for us to perma 4-man him.
Yeah, I don't know how far down the disconnects list that one is, because he did have the Cassiopeia game that seemed pretty good. I don't. And
yeah, he played Cassio and Riven against other teams.
Yeah.
But I think he was worried to pick it into Vossen because Vossen can actually exploit those champs a bit.
All right. Okay.
And then I don't know if he ended up going top against Donut in that game. No, he didn't because he picked Lux. But then in finals, Donut's a very competent laner. So.
Was Chris G on Camille that game? I think on the Lux game.
I couldn't tell you.
I think maybe, I don't know. They kind of lane swapped a bit depending on what was available or the matchup, right? They had the Victor one game and Victor Riven and swap lanes, and yeah, no, it was. I just remember like was it like halfway through that game or something like that? There's just like Donut comes down and the Sejuani throws it all over the wall, and then 4 of you guys just come out the woodwork.
Yeah, they don't seem to be on the same macro level as we were. Obviously, being an actual competitive team.
The story about like how that team came about, they were a bit kind of seemed like it was pulled together at last minute sort of thing.
I've watched the other episodes and it was very interesting to hear. Ours is not that interesting.
Behind the curtain sort of thing, like you just don't know like how long these guys have played together. But no, it was cool. And then so you get out of groups, you're top of the group B, and then it's quarters and semis. Baby Bills, yeah.
There weren't any quarters just because I think there were only 8 teams. So.
Just a shallow bracket, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Baby Bills.
We had I think the Bomb Planters played theirs first. So they were against Reclusive.
Yeah.
And we assumed Bomb Planters were going to beat them through watching Reclusive. Reclusive looked good on paper, but they seem to have a lot of big issues from watching the games in their groups.
Okay.
Like it was a lot of solo plays rather than team plays.
Right.
The least Bomb Planters played as a team around the disconnect rather than. Yeah, theirs wasn't interesting. I think it was 2-1 to Bomb Planters.
Yeah.
So then we had ours against Baby Bills. the upset is probably why they're there, and
Mhm.
there's not that much to say other than
Yeah.
we went 2-0. It's not a fair matchup, to be honest.
Mhm. Mhm. And
We
then
were a master team, they were plat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah.
And then the finals. Talk about the finals. Like you said that the draft was the pick bands were, or the bands at least were the
Firstly,
same.
before the event, there were a lot of train strikes.
Oh
Vossen
yeah.
missed his plane because he was
Okay.
coming from Germany, so he had to get a plane the morning of the thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna have to FF game one
All right.
because he
Okay.
was gonna be that late, but then it all got delayed. We couldn't get onto the tournament realm. Apparently Ryan hadn't enabled it.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there were a lot of complications before, but I've played a lot of competitive sports before with crowds and stuff, so it's fine. But I
Mhm.
think some people it could get them pretty stressed or nervous.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then going into the draft, game one, I think is when they picked Karma and Janna,
Mhm.
which I mean, it's probably not going to win you a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just the way the tournament went, with like there was like flooding and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot
So
of.
it's a lot of issues with people getting there, and then the tournament realm stuff. I've heard a few things about like the feedback and is
Oh
because it
yeah,
was
you
in
could
an
barely hear
auditorium.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah. And then like the one thing I would say, I'm kind of glad that they got the tournament realm this time around because at SEL4 they basically played on the week of the preseason patch or
yeah.
whatever.
I got subbed in to be mid for them. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
rough.
we should have talked about that actually. We'll talk about SEL4
Yeah,
afterwards.
I forgot I played it. There's not much to say.
But
Yeah,
so they at least
game
got
one.
the
Yeah,
tournament realm, and things were like it wasn't just like a brand new patch and like everything got changed. It was at least consistent, but there was some
yeah.
issues with the event, like when people getting there, getting started. How long was it delayed by? Do you think? Like all in
I
all,
think 2 hours.
2 hours delay, right? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
quite
think
a
so.
bit. Right, okay.
Which I mean, being a best of three, it was always going to be 2 games, so it wasn't that bad
Mhm,
for us.
mhm, mhm.
But
Okay.
so game one, they had Janna someone bot lane against Varus. I picked Maokai. Don't know
Mhm,
why. I can't give you any explanation why. I
mhm.
just wanted to play him. He's a cool tree.
Was
They had Karma mid against Vossen's. I think it was Syndra.
right.
Crisis Gotudir somehow,
Yeah.
which we thought was going to be a contested pick, but they let us pick it even though he's top three
Yeah.
ADers in EU or something. So
Mhm.
we're pretty happy with that. And then Donut got Aatrox as well. So
Just a lot of things
pretty
going
much
your way.
everything but the tree we were happy with.
And I mean, Maokai wasn't exactly like he wasn't considered a top tier support, but I mean, do
Yeah,
you
like
think?
he was fine. There's
Yeah,
just not much reason for me to have him there.
right, okay, okay. But I mean, like, so you would feel that maybe the bomb planters kind of like kind of gutted their draft like with the Karma Janna. It seems like they've got
Yeah, I think they were trying something whilst we
right.
were just taking the strongest things.
Okay, right.
So they picked Karma on 3, I think. So we assumed it was bot lane.
Yeah.
And then they picked Janna on 5, which I mean didn't really counter our comp either.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like a panic pick. So
So, do you remember like what you banned at the start? You banned the same things: Akali,
yeah, Akali,
Zilean,
Zillion,
Soraka.
and then I assume Sraka. I don't know what else the disconnect plays.
Yeah.
It was targeted there though.
Okay. And then what was it? 4, 5 bands.
Um, I assume Victor,
Victor for
maybe.
Chris G, maybe.
Yeah, and then maybe Seraphine, but
Seraphine.
no, it
Yeah.
wasn't Seraphine because they'd already picked Karma. But like
Ah.
even sticking Seraphine instead of Janet would have made more sense.
Yeah.
At least that's all Roy played in groups.
Yeah.
So we assumed that's what we'd be playing against, but
Mhm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm quite surprised because that was like a signature pick, right? Like
Yeah, like a
just
lot of their picks just didn't
yeah.
show up.
Mhm. I don't remember. Like, do you remember? So, wait, did you get red side this game or blue side?
Yeah, we were red side both games.
Okay, so you got what, last picks and counters. Um, do you remember what they picked? Because wait, what you're saying about the Udyr pick? This was right after the rework, and he's mega
Yeah,
powerful. He was like just
yeah.
extremely good, right? So to leave that
So
pick up, especially against Crisis, and it was one of Flashy Slashy's kind of power
yeah,
picks,
we
I would say at the
assumed they
time.
were gonna take it, but
Hmm
can't remember what they ended up picking.
Was it Hecarim or something, or maybe?
It might have been heck.
Ooh, I don't remember. I don't know if I have this anymore.
I could probably double check. Uh, where would it be?
I think I only have stuff for the groups because I was interested to see like the experience of some of the players and op.ggs
Yeah.
and stuff like that to see how they stack up. But I don't have anything for the quarters or the playoffs, whatever you want to say.
I should be able to bring it up. Okay, so bum clean on Caitlyn to take away from GG.
Hmm
Sejuani, I think, to take away from Donut because
Okay.
people were starting to think he was a tank player, even though he absolutely despises playing tanks. And then Mordekaiser for some reason.
For Chris G, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Caitlyn's first pick, then you respond with. Do you remember?
Udyr Varus,
Right. Okay.
which
Yeah.
on the
So
patch were crazy strong.
yeah, yeah. Varys is just kind of like a good, like he can handle Caitlyn, right?
He was a matchup that was good into Caitlyn. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then they respond. Sorry, what did you say?
They
2-3
took Mordekaiser
Mordor.
Karma.
Right. Okay.
We
Maybe.
take Aatrox.
Yeah. I think.
I can't find the bands, but
I
we
feel
then
like.
take Maokai. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Aatrox can beat Mordekaiser as well. Like.
Oh yeah, pretty much any day.
Yeah.
So
Maybe just with how things went, like the the troubles getting into the place. Maybe
I
it's
assume they just had bad prep, which could
nerves on the
happen.
day.
Yeah.
Prep. Yeah, could have. Yeah, maybe seems like they've fumbled the draft quite a bit,
I don't think they had a coach either, so maybe there
man.
were just a lot of voices talking in Champ Select.
Mhm, mhm,
We
mhm.
had Kev as a coach for us. I don't think he has an online handle, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually plan to interview him at some point.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Is he quite an experienced coach then? Like, what's his experience?
No, he doesn't have that much experience, but he's a very loud guy.
Okay, right, right.
Gets his point across. So yeah, game one was a bit of a stomp.
Mhm,
Uh, I think I gave away first blood or something, but then we managed to 2v2 their bot lane again,
mhm,
which shouldn't happen ever,
mhm.
or at least until level 6 when you're playing against when you have Caitlyn Janna. There
Yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
a way you get engaged on, but
Mhm.
happened. Obviously, Udyr at the time is going to body Sejuani any day.
Yeah.
Vossen managed to keep the disconnect just to 0-0-0, which I think for their team hits hard. For ours, we're happy having Vossen in what he considers a strong position.
Yeah.
And then Donut, Aatrox was by far his best champ at the
Mhm.
time. So
Was this Syndra rework time or was this
yeah,
before that?
yeah,
Oh, so this
it
is
was.
when she got the full rework, right?
Yeah, I think she got it before Worlds, but I
All right,
could
okay.
be wrong.
Yeah. No, certainly after that rework, I think she started to become viable again, right? Like she was kind of just like forgotten about, and then
Yeah,
this kind of like scaling thematic with, you know, like getting the executing out and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
it really made her a champion again. So yeah, it's cool to
And
see.
I don't think they realized Vossen was a Syndra one trick as well.
Oh right, okay, right. So
So
there's experienced player in
yeah,
that as well. Yeah, because I think looking at his op.gg before. SEL5. Was he like a big Yone player or something like
Yeah,
that?
Syndra Yon
Right. Okay. Yeah.
kind of player. But
Uh,
he has an Ocean as well, so it's kind of hard
to ban him.
to
Oh, did he?
yeah.
He has Silas as well. Silas one of his big
Yeah.
picks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Silas is one of his good ones. Akali. Yeah.
Okay, so game one happens. You feel like that they had a misdraft and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, I
kind of a
think
bit
they
of an
just
easy game.
missed on draft.
What was the thoughts about game two?
So I think they disrespected us in draft again.
Okay.
So I'll just bring up. Yeah. So they took away the Udyr, which makes sense. Crisis showed that he was kind of nuts on it.
Mm-hmm.
They banned the Caitlyn, taking away from Gigi. He's a Caitlyn player, very good at it. So they did better on that front, but their bot lane, I think, didn't respect that I could actually play enchanters, which is fair. I've never shown it. So they picked Renata, who's notoriously good into engaged players and hook champs. So, but we already had Varus. At the time, Lux Varus was pretty strong in Worlds. I think it was Carrier was playing it a lot.
Yeah.
So I decided to whip out the Lux and kind of smack them with it. We played against it, me and Lewis, in scrims for Saltire Blue, and it's pretty unplayable at the time.
Right. Okay. Okay.
You just can't touch the wave. You get getting Luxies and Varuskis.
Yeah. So much poke damage, right?
So I think they kind of lost the game through bot there.
Right.
There's not much they can do, but they died level 2 to us, just walking at them, which obviously is going to put things out of whack again.
Right. Okay. Oh. Do you remember? Right. So, do you remember the draft order for that game? Just out of interest, or did anything change much from their side?
They took
You said
Udyr.
about Udyr. Yeah.
We took Viego Varus. Viego is one of Chris's second best champs, and it's good into Udyr. You can duel him somewhat.
All right.
They took then their bot lane, which was Jinx Renata. So my Lux is never going to get banned. I've never touched the champ.
You've never shown it, yeah.
So we took the Silas because we can get Renata ult for ourselves. Then we took Sejuani for Donut because he loves tanks. They take Fiora, which is supposed to be good into Sedge, but we're pretty happy.
Yeah, the disconnect played this one, right? Played Fiora, that one, yeah.
And then they put the Victor mid for Chris G, and then Lux. So game happens, we kill them 2v2 bot. Then I think Donut traded top lane, but had a frozen wave state, so he was loving life. Again, Vossen did fine into Chris G. I think we weren't really scared of what their comp could do because it doesn't do much apart from Udyr runs at you.
So there's maybe a few missing pieces there in terms of like what you need to have a well-rounded team comp, you think?
Yeah, I think they were relying on the disconnect to hard carry, and he couldn't really get leads on our laners because I think we were pretty good. So then there were a couple fights around top jungle, which went fine. Then we decided to give them 4 kills in their base for some reason.
Right, on the Nexus was this?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Donut and Chris both at the same time jumped the wall. Me and Gigi were sat there like we don't have dashes.
Right, okay. I see. Yeah.
So yeah, we get aced apart from me, but then we just send it down mid. I think Flashy walked into us. Lux at the time could Q into Everfrost into Q, so he was like CC 5 seconds. Yeah, they just can't move.
Yeah, right, okay. And then it's pretty much a wrap after that.
Yeah.
You walk in and then done. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think we've covered, like, is that all the kind of tournaments that we've covered then, or is there anything else?
Yeah, apart from SEL4, but
SEL4, I mean,
I was literally subbed in for one series.
Yeah, that might come up later, don't worry, that might come up
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay, so we've talked about your tournaments. Next question is, when you think about the game, what percentage do you think the game is about macro versus micro?
In solo queue, I'd say micro 60, macro 40.
Okay.
In competitive, I would say 70 macro, 30 micro.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah. And like, is there? Do you want to elaborate that a bit more, maybe on the comp side, like in terms
I
of?
think, yeah. So comp, you have to look at strong side, weak sides.
Mhm,
A lot more dives happen, so you can't just sit under your turret and farm happy if you're losing a matchup.
mhm,
Um, Late game team fights can often be decided just by mispositioning rather than actually fighting.
mhm,
A lot of fights are lost due to picks
mhm,
rather than wombos and stuff. So
mhm,
I think because everyone's actually thinking about taking objectives, more fights happen or 5v5s rather than micro. You can individually outplay 1v1s and stuff,
yeah, yeah, for sure. Mhm.
which is why solo queue I'd say is more important.
Yeah, yeah, okay, right. Um, there was this was one of the questions that came up, like when I was asking people for like the personal questions section. It was let me get this up because I think it was well, in fact, it's something like being a support player, your role is somewhat kind of like a second jungler at points, right? Where you have windows to roam and things like that. Like, how
Yeah.
important is vision denial or vision control in terms of setting yourself up for these things, or like what is there like a process that you go through where you go, okay, vision control and then move, or is there just like, oh, I can go from base, or what's your thoughts on these sorts of things?
So originally it was I've got to put wards out certain places.
Mhm,
I had a detailed map that my coach gave me
mhm,
on where to put wards after each base. But then after I got used to that, I started and I got more confident with it. It was about going using base timers to get free roams.
mhm,
Because when you're AD backs and you're support backs, your AD doesn't need you there to catch the first set of waves.
mhm.
So you kind of have like a minute back timer on every base timing
Okay.
that you can use to push and gank, I guess. So it's about using those timers, knowing where they've been and where wards might be on your timers. Because
Mhm,
like if I base at level 3, most likely the mid laner won't expect me to come from top side
mhm,
at level 3 because I should be bot lane. But I can use that timer to be in topside fights and put down vision that other people, I guess, wouldn't expect me to have. So I would say it's pretty important early game. Late game, you can just slap boards everywhere.
just
I'm all
wherever.
glaives in the game, so
Yeah.
they get cleared out instantly anyway.
Mhm. And like in terms of setting up for objectives and things like that, like do you have a rule of thumb about that, or like?
I would say know where they are. It's pretty important.
Right, okay.
Um, if you know where the entire enemy team is, you're probably going to win a fight if they don't know where you are.
Mhm,
But just trying to get as much knowledge before a fight happens, board flanks, be on flanks.
mhm,
Like if you can, I don't know, for example, get a fiddlesticks ult on the whole
mhm.
enemy team, you probably won the fight. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, no, no, that was interesting. Let me. Should we just move on to the next question then?
yeah.
What makes a good support player? I guess you've covered some of these things, but
Uh,
is there anything else that you think?
the e-girl in me wants to say be able to shield your AD carry. uh, for competitive, I would say have a loud mouth, be able to talk a lot.
Mhm,
You're not the most micro-intensive role, so your AD carry, mid or top, will be thankful that you can speak for them.
mhm,
If they're maybe having a 1v1, I can call out that the fight's happening so they don't have to. They could just focus on the fight.
mhm,
I would say mechanics aren't that important. Obviously, being able to hit hooks and stuff, but that I wouldn't class that as mechanics that much. That's usually just be able to see dodge patterns. And what else would be important? Being able to be creative, probably. It's usually on you to engage or roam and make stuff happen. A lot of support players will just sit on their team. I'm probably one who will go for like a 360 flank, no scope over the wall.
Actually, this what you said about creativity, right? This was an interesting clip I seen the other day. It was Cadro was talking about taking Hex Flash, like why Hex Flash is
Yeah.
good and like why, or like um even to the point of saying like you have Flash right at your disposal, and then if you use it, you have Hex Flash afterwards, right? Flash is good in the like in the moment type of plays, whereas the Hex Flash, because you can use it, it's what is the cooldown on it? It's so short, right? Like is it
15 seconds or
yeah,
18
something
seconds.
like that, right? So you can you can use that creatively and make these kind of um unexpected angles happen that you
Yeah,
know
that shouldn't happen.
yeah, that shouldn't happen, and you
Yeah.
can make them happen every 18 seconds if you plan it well enough. So
Yeah.
it was really interesting because I don't know, I do think Hex Flash is a good rune, but I never really sat back and thought about like how much it can impact the creativity and looking for
Yeah.
plays. So yeah, no, it's cool. Um, in terms of like champion pools for support players, like do you think how important is that to have like some engage and then some enchanters types, you think?
I think it's kind of vital.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to play every style, you don't have to be the best at every style, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're not able to play a style, you're probably hindering your team. But I would
Okay.
say that's the same for every role.
Mm-hmm. And do you have like a rule of thumb about like if someone say you're in a draft and they show like some kind of enchanter champion, do you have like do you go oh yeah, I'll just play. You probably think about champion specific matchups, but is there like a rule of thumb, like if they show an enchanter, should you be playing an engage or an enchanter to match or anything like that?
It's
You think?
usually patch to patch.
Okay, so it's just
So if
relevant to the
enchanter
patch.
is just straight up the strongest, you
Hmm.
probably just match.
Okay, fair enough.
But if there's an argument to be made for engage, I'll probably pick engage.
Right, okay. Just because it's
Comfort, and if I'm better than you at the role,
uh-huh,
then I'll probably pick
that just
what
the
I'm best at.
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah. Um, is there anything else I wanted to talk about in that? I think that's okay. I think that's everything there. Okay. Are there any players that inspired you? This could be friends, it could be streamers, could be pro players, anything.
I'll probably start with pro players. I would say Yellow Star originally.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of crazy. He was the one who got me to actually enjoy playing support.
Yeah.
And then recently, Hillisang, not this season, last season.
Yeah.
Hillisang on from the LPL and Carrier
Carrier,
from
yeah.
SK2. Yeah.
Yeah, all good players, man.
They were all things I've mirrored a lot of my playstyle off of. The Lux
Mm-hmm.
came from Carrier, so
Mm-hmm.
I watched him a fair amount. My friends, I just got to be better than, so have a higher rank than Donut and GG. That's all that really matters. You could say that's inspiring.
Okay. Right. Okay. Are there any mice, keyboards, or other peripherals or accessories that you swear by?
I wouldn't swear by them, but I guess I've only ever had one mouse,
Mm-hmm.
being this. So
Was that a
Logitech
Logitech?
mouse. I don't really know the
The
exact
model.
words. Yeah. And I have a Fnatic keyboard.
All right. Okay.
Been the
Cool.
same keyboard all my life as well. So
Yeah.
just pray they don't break.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like these, yeah, these mouse and keyboards, they can get thousands of hours in
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're on to the highlight clip section. If you
Sick.
want to talk about that, let's see. Let me get the scene up.
Yeah, let me double click the link.
Okay. So
Yeah, it should be good. I can see it.
ready to go? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
wait, or
was
yeah, you can give us a
UKL.
preamble. Yeah.
Yeah, this was UKL against X7 the first time in the round robin.
Mhm.
So they were known for playing through their top laner and jungler.
Mhm.
So before the game, we had kind of planned to help our top laner, but I got really good back timer on level 3.
Mhm.
So I decided to just sprint to top because they hadn't dove yet.
Yeah, it's so
And then,
early, man, to get a roam like level
yeah.
3.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. That like, why should I ever be here? They shouldn't expect me to be here, so I can.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I
But yeah,
see a few names here. I see Crisis Force, and this Raider guy is the challenger player. He said, and actually
yeah,
I see
and
Sin as well.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So a lot of decent names.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just hit play here. You happy
Yeah.
with that?
He plays it a lot, and I've seen it enough times from Munchables screens as well. Dreadshine comes in, Anonymous is here, support saying, hey,
That was
I
a
wanna
nice
show up.
setup, like
Picks up
pulled right
first
into
blood
the
as well,
pillar
Yeah.
supporting
as
the
well for the
real
knockup.
carries in
Nice.
League of Legends.
Yeah, so that was just us using our prep well against them.
Mhm. Okay,
This
that's
was qualifiers to get into UKL,
Mhm.
so a pretty similar roster. We had a different jungler at the time, but this is just a big rel combo.
Mhm. I feel like Rel's that one, like one of your signature champions. You seem to play it a
Yeah, it
little bit
became it.
more than
Yeah,
other people that I know. Anyway, I'll
I
hit
think
replay.
just because I'm pretty good at finding flanks,
Uh-huh.
and having a rel flash on you is pretty rough.
Yeah, yeah.
5v5s beforehand. See Sandstorm doing a good job of avoiding them, and they just pop this Mordekaiser. CC chain, Castle Battlestorm comes in, the huge engage, the combo is fantastic
Yeah, it's
from Rel
perfect,
Gaming.
man.
There
Straight
is
up ace
nothing
after that.
that Sandstorm could do when they are grouped up like that. As
Yeah, this was really cool in a qualifier as well.
Saltire White,
And this one,
And then this is the finals. My Lux showing off what Lux can do.
no, they want to fight this next another fight. Also, take him and catches everybody onto GG.
Also, this is Moss's montage. That's really sick.
yeah.
Jigsprocket is there. It's not enough damage. GG survives. Flashes by Joseph with the bindings. Techy Fiend.
Yeah, I think it was like a 3-man.
That's nice, man.
Yeah,
Perfect lineup.
sick.
Yeah. Credits to Boston for making what is it called? The road to victory or something like that.
Yeah, road to
That's-
victory or something.
Yeah, it's great, man. Oh, cool. I was maybe going to ask you about the rail a bit more. Like, how did you kind of like pick up that champion? Because she never seemed that popular.
Yeah.
Like for
Oh,
a while, like
no.
when she got released, like she never really seemed to have the popularity that some other characters
So the
did.
big issue with Rel is she's impossible to play in solo queue.
Oh, okay.
Because solo queue doesn't have the big setups, doesn't have big 5v5s often, it's just random people getting picked off, like I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Rel doesn't do anything
Mm-hmm.
unless you're in a big 5v5. So I played her on release, got super comfortable with her, played her in a lot of scrims,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can just kind of pull her out when I need to. I don't have to play in solo queue, thank God.
Mm-hmm. Because her kit is like she does have so much going on. Like she does. It feels like her kit is overloaded, but it's just kind of like I guess the range of her engage isn't so good, or like
She
she's
does the lowest damage, I think, out of any champ.
right. Okay.
If you miss the engage, you have to slowly like waddle away.
Yeah, yeah. So she's
If people don't
punishable.
follow up on the engage, you kind of sit there again
Mhm.
waddling. You
Mhm.
can't do anything. So I think she just works very well in a team environment, works terribly in
And
a
so
solo
okay.
environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever see like when you're thinking about picking her, do you need to go like, okay, yeah, there's like three melee
Yeah.
champs here or something like that? Like, do you need to like something to line up before you can pull her out? You think, or is it just
If they have a way to block your engage,
Right.
she doesn't work. So Draven, Vayne counter her.
Mhm.
Janna counters her. So there are a couple things you have to look at. Alistair can stop her knockup very easily.
Mhm.
There's a lot of ways to stop her doing her thing, and if she doesn't do her thing, she's not champion.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, it's you were one of the first people that I think I met that was kind of playing it a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
I love the champ.
yeah. It's like, do you have like maybe a top 5 supports or something that you like to play, or top 5 champions you like to play?
That I like to play is very
Mm.
different to that are strong.
Right. Okay. Well.
I
What?
like to play would be Pike, Thresh, Rel,
Mhm.
maybe Nautilus and Maokai.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What about like
That
at the moment? Like, what ones are strong? Do you think?
I honestly haven't played that much of preseason,
All right. Okay.
so
Okay.
I'm not that aware. But I think it's still Enchantamento, Lulu, Renata, Yumi,
Right.
all the best champs in the game. The most fun, of course.
What do you think about Renata actually? Like, because she's got quite an interesting kit, and she kind of, she did like, it was cool when they released her, and she has like the what do you call that? Like the lifeline sort of mode on the
Yeah,
W,
the
where
fight to survive.
yeah, fight to survive or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty cool. I like playing her somewhat, but she does terrible into enchanters, and in the last 6 months, there's been nothing but enchanters.
Right. Okay. So it's
Lucian
like,
Nami exists, so
yeah.
why would you play anything else?
Yeah, Nami seems so strong. Like, even after they done like
only
the
only with Lucian though. It's just
right. Okay, that's very
yeah.
specific. What about like
Yeah.
there's a few characters that I've seen kind of pop up recently that um they just haven't been well. Heimerdinger's one support that's became very popular
Oh
recently,
god.
right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I hate him.
Yeah, it's just unfun to play against, or
Heimer, Ash,
yeah,
Vel'Koz,
the
Xerath,
Ash, yeah,
Ziggs. I hate all champs that can hit me from a screen away,
yeah,
and there's nothing you can really do about it either. It's just a bit unfun.
yeah. What about like Tarek? I've seen a few Tareks recently. Like, do you think Tarek's any good?
I haven't seen him.
No. Yeah,
I haven't seen him in months. I can comment really.
yeah, yeah. Because I think he feels a bit like Rel, right? Where on paper his kit doesn't seem too bad, but
Yeah.
he just maybe it's just not the
Yeah.
right time.
Low damage, low engage range.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. Okay. Shall we go to the personal question section?
Yeah, go for
Yeah. Okay.
it.
I think who gave me this one was that it might have been from Donut. The question is locked cam or unlocked cam?
Oh no. So I have a permanently locked cam when I play.
Right, okay.
So I Key's backseat gained me a couple times where I use the minimap to navigate the fights rather than what I'm actually seeing.
Right, okay.
Which I know is terrible. I can't see half the things I'm trying to hit.
Okay.
But it's just a habit of mine. And I have
Okay.
to like click on the minimap to look around.
All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, you still look around. You're still looking for things on the other end of the map.
Yeah.
So it works
Yeah.
for you. So yeah, it's funny because some people like play lock cam, or some people, they lock it, unlock it, and then they move around
Yeah.
or whatever. And then there's weirdos like me. I actually use 1, 2, 3, 4 for my abilities, and sometimes I use
What?
WASD for cam
Oh
control
no!
because
Oh god!
yeah.
Oh god! I thought I was bad. Jesus!
Should I delete that bit of the?
Honestly, yeah, I would get rid of that. Hide it from the internet.
But honestly, like I see with QWER, I feel like my hand gets cramped. Like I feel like it's too, like it doesn't suit me. So I like having 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you'll have no supporters on that one at all.
But then maybe I'll just get
That's
flamed in the
horrific.
comments section.
Honestly, I might go through that.
Okay. Question number 2. Thoughts about the Echo versus Caston matchup?
That's from Craney, isn't it?
Actually, it's from a few people. It wasn't just Crane.
Okay. So I have. This was told to me as a good matchup for Echo from
Right.
Donut.
Okay.
I was a filled mid laner.
This is the SEL4, right?
This is SEL4, yeah. I would say it's a rough matchup from experience.
Yeah. Like, do you remember when you got into the lane and were you like, oh, this feels okay, and then like, what did it change over the time, or like
It
how
traded level 1, it didn't feel okay.
level? Okay.
He ran Predator boots and just slapped me, and I was like, what?
All right. Okay. Right.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. The last question, I think this is from Crisis. How did it feel to reach your bench personal best of 20 kilograms?
Jesus Christ. Mate, if I could bench like 20, Crisis could bench like 10 maybe.
Okay.
That dude is so small.
I mean, the thing is, like, I know you post your lifts online, but I haven't seen you bench press, so like that it's an
Yeah,
anomaly.
there's
So
no proof to be fair.
it could be 20 kg, it could be 200 kg. I mean, I don't know what your squat and your deadlift or whatever seem pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of numbers are you putting up on that?
Deadlift 220, squat 170, bench 125.
And like when you started doing weightlifting and stuff like that, like, do you remember where you started? Was it like
Yeah, I do. My deadlifts were 50.
right? Okay,
My squat was a bar.
a bar. Okay,
Yep.
yeah,
My
very good.
bench was a bar as well.
A bar. Yeah,
Yeah, I was weak.
it's crazy how it comes on, right? Like, what age
Yeah.
did you start lifting at?
19, I think.
Okay, right. So,
Yeah, so quite late. Yeah,
and what age are you now again? Sorry,
24.
24. Okay, so it's been a good solid. What's that?
Like 5 years,
5 years?
roughly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
consistently doing that. Yeah, it's
yeah.
good, man. Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank you for coming on, Thomas. It was good to
No, yeah, it was a lot of
talk
fun.
to you, and like, yeah, I hope. Well, can we ask this? Will Saltire White be back for SEL6? You think?
I assume we will be. We might
Yeah,
not be the exact same roster, but Saltire. Well, we'll Team White. Team
Team
White will
White
be
will
back.
be. You, GG, and
And
Donut will
Donut,
certainly
yeah.
be. Okay,
Yeah,
right,
after
yeah.
that, Crisis might get dropped.
Okay. Right. Yeah. No, it was good to have you on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad you could come on. We had a good chat. If everyone could give a like, subscribe, share if you like, comment on my horrible cam controls, and flame me as much as you like in the comment section. Yeah, thanks very much again. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.